So here's the story. You couldn't make it up, honestly. The event that I was going to go to, well, I woke up and the weather was okay. It was a bit rainy, but it was okay. And my energy, admittedly, was low, but I was determined to get up there. So once I'd talked myself into getting ready, bought my train ticket, got in the train and got halfway up there, only to find that the subway was off. Can't tell you. I'd paid the money to get up there and talked myself into making the effort. And on the way up, by the way, my back was actually stressing me out. It was quite sore sitting on the train, so it was actually stressing me out. Only to find when I got halfway there that I couldn't make the rest of the journey. So you couldn't write this, could you? But here's the thing. Once I'd got over my initial disappointment, I then resigned myself to just making a day of it and wandering around the area that I was in. So that was fine. I was quite tired anyway, as I say. However, what I actually did was, you'll never guess, I went for acupuncture. I just happened to pass this acupuncture place. I inquired and they had a space, so I took the treatment. Reasonably priced. Now here's the thing, the treatment itself wasn't just acupuncture. Since my back on the way up was stressing me out and it was sore and it was on my mind, what they did for quite a good price, they did 3 different treatments. Well, 4 if you count the infrared, but they did the acupuncture, which, by the way, I have never had acupuncture in my life. But what I got was acupuncture, cupping, which I've never tried. They decided to do, I think it was a TENS machine they were using, which remedial therapists can use. It's sending an electrical pulse through the muscles. So that's what he did. He set me up with the needles, then he put the TENS machine onto me and put the infrared lamp onto me, then left me for half an hour with the TENS machine running, which was pulsing electric pulses through my leg and lower back. That's the first time I felt those muscles working in 2.5 years. Remember, I have a spinal cord injury, so it was quite weird to feel those muscles working. The needles, the acupuncture needles, I would say, for the most part, I didn't feel at all. The only places I felt them were places where it was working quite deep, so around my lower back, where there's a lot of tension. We'll get round to this, by the way. We'll discuss this in just a short while when I finish my story. So it was only a second of discomfort and then it would dissipate, so it wasn't that bad really. Perfectly bearable. And then after half an hour, he came back in and he removed all the needles and then he used the cups on me. I don't know if you've ever had cupping or heard of it, but they create a suction within this glass bulb or cup and with a flame. So they put a flame in it, they suck out all the oxygen and then they place the bulb onto whatever area you're working on. So in this case, my back. He did it all over actually, he did it on my back and on the back of my leg as well, the bad leg. And so he left that for about 5 or 10 minutes and then he came back and removed those as well. And that was that. So I would say on balance, yes, I quite enjoyed it. Takes a bit of getting used to if you're not used to it, I suppose. It helped a bit with the pain, which is good because you're terrified that you're gonna I don't know, be in a wheelchair or something, you know, it could go at any moment. It's terrifying being in that position. But anyway, so there we are, that's what happened. After all of that, I then went back round to the subway and asked how they were getting on, and lo and behold, they said that the subway was once again up and running, which was brilliant news. It then meant I could go to the event and catch the last bit of it, so that was great. So I did manage to capture a few clips. I'll show you them. So it was really interesting. I got a wee bit of a chat with some of them at different points. And then I had some lunch and then went home. I was hoping for some free seeds to grow some plants of my own. But they didn't have any at that point, so it was never mind. But anyway, it was on balance a very tiring day, but it was a good day. I did enjoy it. I'll just spin that wee bit. I'll use that for the garden. By the way, wool, just in case you don't know, wool is good for, although this is actually alpaca fur, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. It's very soft. You can use this in nesting season for birds, so they can use it to line their nests. And also it can be used in the garden. It's very good for fertiliser and for mulch, for protecting from frosts and things. So we can use that for that. It's a great wee day and I'm extremely glad how things worked out actually. It's funny how things work out, isn't it? If the subway had been on, I would never have done that. But as it happens, my back was particularly sore. I was low on energy. The subway was off and I just happened to pass this place. However, here we are just now. What I'm actually doing, now I don't know if you watched my short from the other day where I was actually what you call scouring wool. As I say, this is, and here's the fleece, a part of the fleece, okay? So it washed quite well. If you go and watch the short, you'll see it's raw wool. So any raw wool you get straight from the animal, you have to, first of all, what you call skirt it, which is taking off all the edges round the edge of the fleece to, you know, all wee rough bits that are just not going to get used, you know, they're not any use. You would maybe use them for the garden or something. So you go around, you skirt it, and then you scour it, which is actually cleaning it, so you've got to be very gentle with wool. Well, you'll see from the short, if you go and watch the short, you'll see how to scour wool. Then what you do is, which is what I'm doing just now, is what you call carding. Let me know if any of you know anything about all this process. But that gives you an example of how to card wool. Take off this one as well while you're at it. And then you roll it. So there's not much crochet in today's vlog, but something different. But on that note, I'll let you see a wee bit of footage of the adventure that I had when I went out. Anyway, I'll see you in the next vlog. I hope you enjoy the wee adventures that I had. You can let me know.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming. So this time we have a market selling stuff and they're like stitching, they're not even looking. It's like the people spinning for them. The spinning the drops as they're walking, they're spinning. Yeah, actually I should open this because that really shows how it's done.